Hello, my name is James Manuele. I'm here with Kennedy Violins, and this is lesson 2 for the online videos. Today I'd like to talk about sitting position and holding the guitar for classical guitarists. Now, all of our body types are a little bit different, so it may vary on sitting position and how you are comfortable holding the guitar. But I will discuss some points that most guitar players how they approach the instrument. So, as classical guitarists, we will sit usually on the edge of our chair, and we will have normally a footstool that will raise the left leg. The guitar, what we call, as we put the guitar in our lap, we will provide the contact points to leverage the instrument. The first contact point will be on as our leg is raised from the footstool of the instrument, which we'll discuss a little bit later in the videos. In the curvature of the instrument, the first contact point will be on the top thigh. The second contact point on the lower bout of the instrument will be on our inner thigh. So right there we have a leverage on the lower part of the guitar and the upper part of the guitar. The guitar will lean back a little bit and hit our sternum. This will provide some visual for us to look at the fingerboard and also look at the right hand strings of the instrument. As you can see, the guitar is raised quite a bit, so the neck is quite high. And depending on your height, the neck should probably hit your left shoulder in a way. So when you look at the fingerboard, it's not away from you, but very close and easily visible on what the left hand is doing. The other contact point, and it's not really a permanent contact point, but what holds the guitar in place is your right arm. The upper bout, your right arm will come on the upper bout, and this is what will keep the guitar in place. And then this will also provide freedom in the left hand as you play, and movement on the fingerboard, and freedom in the right hand as well. So several things, I would like to stress is how the right hand works coming up to the strings. So I like to think of it as a straight line from the upper bout into the center area of the strings at around a 45-degree angle. So my philosophy in playing the guitar is straight lines, they don't cause any pain. So the wrist is very important on how you approach and play the instrument. So from the elbow into the wrist, right into the strings, my arm is very straight. And I'm working the fingers in a way that it's working on how the fingers are supposed to work on your hand. The other aspect is the wrist. As your wrist comes towards the center of the strings, you don't want to raise your wrist too high that causes stress points or curves, or too low that you can't have access and play the instrument. The wrist should be high enough for the size of your hand, straight from the wrist to the elbow, and then you will have enough room to move your fingers in the palm of your hand. So how the hand will work is basically this motion here. So you have 3 joints in your fingers going into the palm of your hand, and your thumb will work on the outside as it works normally. So we want to keep the hands working as natural as possible. I'll demonstrate a little bit more and talk about the right hand in detail a little bit later in the video. A few words on the left arm and the left hand. The thumb, of course, will position itself on the back of the neck, and we want to keep the thumb very, very straight and very relaxed. It will move depending on what we're playing in the left hand, and it will not come over around the fingerboard as well. The arm also is straight, so when we work the arm this way, the wrist to the elbow will work together as well. The left hand fingerings will have a very natural curve on them since we play on the tips, or all guitarists will have their own spot where they're comfortable on pressing down on the strings. Our hands and our fingertips are not all the same, so that's a very subjective thing per guitarist. But we all have a curve, so if I'm playing what we call first position, which is the first 4 frets of the instrument, putting my fingers, normally I would start on the 3rd string in the center of the fingerboard and put all my fingers on the first 4 frets, lining up with my fingers, which are numbered 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Of course, we'll talk a little bit more about fingering the left hand as well. So they're placed accordingly. And if you notice, I have a nice arch in all of my fingers in the left hand. My thumb is tilted a little bit towards the headstock, and my pinky is tilted a little bit down towards the body of the instrument. And my middle finger and my ring finger is almost perpendicular. So this is going to be a very comfortable first position and correct first position of the left hand. We don't want our fingers too perpendicular. We want them to be natural, how they work individually on our hand. The thumb will move depending on if we're playing on the bass side, the thumb moves up, and if we're going down on the treble strings, our thumb will move down with our fingers, so keeping this whole movement as one. We don't want to reach towards the string. Everything will go up, keeping this position completely intact. As we continue on to learn on playing left and right hand, most classical guitarists usually work the right hand first, and we will discuss that a little bit later as we start to play. So the most importantly is you want a very natural sitting position, because we're all different. Our own anatomy is different. So providing these contact points and finding your height level with the instrument is very important. A few things about sitting is when we sit on the chair, we want to use our own weight and think of gravity pulling us down. So we need to relax our neck, definitely relax our shoulders and arms as well. So use your own weight with gravity, and then when you leverage the instrument and supply the contact points, we need to be totally relaxed, even when we come up from this position on the side of our body up, and then we grab the neck of the guitar, raise it for our strings, and this will be the left hand. The right hand, same nature. Over the top portion of the upper bow, coming down at a 45-degree angle, straight lines right over the strings, and raising your wrist just enough so your fingers has access to play the instrument. My right hand, I have very short fingers, so it doesn't take much height of the wrist to give myself room to play. So as we do play the instrument, we're still thinking of our weight of our own body, gravity, and complete relaxation as we play with our fingers as well. In our next video, I will discuss right hand and left hand playing and how we strike the string.